Hello guys, and welcome to our second video about GTK Inspector. As you already saw in the first tutorial, we found information about how and not about just how we saw how many possible ways are for us to find out information when we need to set up some things. So basically we saw together that working with GTK header bar, which is a widget which has no information about CSS at all. I'm going to check again just to be sure, so that I'm not telling you some wrong information. Okay, so we have the header bar, we have the properties, child, types and value, object, implementation, and description. Let me see, maybe I missed something here. Box nope. GTK article window control. Okay, we know that. The reason you guys actual choice. Okay, so basically we have no information about the CSS at all. So because we deal with this widget, we saw that we have to work with some things or some other widgets like labels, which were used for our titles and subtitles, and of course we saw that we have something to do with packing, which means there is a box involved and so on, but was too much and way too much complicated information which we need to extract just to find out how and where we need to concentrate ourselves. So that being said, we choose to not do that. Instead, we choose to work with a tool, a special tool called GTK Inspector, and this one helps us to see how the story goes and what do we need to do. Okay, so basically we saw that we can run it with Ctrl+Shift+I and Ctrl+Shift+D. Anyway, I'm using something else all the time, which means I'm calling this information GTK debug and then interactive. So let me show you something. Like I've already told you, once that you create a project with code blocks, you already know where your projects are. I'm using my project in the template, inside template, and then GTK header bar, and here where is all the information about our project. We have the binary file inside bin and debug, and here is our GTK header bar application. So here this is the information which you need. So I'm going to right click, open in terminal right here. The way how you go and you come here is not important, but important is that you know that you are inside your project. So basically I'm now inside the template, GTK header bar, bin, and then debug. Okay, I'm going to list ls. You see GTK header bar is right here, and now I'm going to copy this part right here, copy GTK debug, or you can GTK debug interactive, right, like this one, and then dot slash and the GTK header bar, the name of your executable. And now I'm going to hit enter, and now watch, I'm going to send this one to my text bar, and also this one because I don't need it, this one as well I don't need it, and this one as well. So basically what do we have here? We have the inspector here. Of course, if we move it, you can see here is our application. Let me move it that side that you see it. Now what do you see? First time when you run your debugger, the inspector, you will notice something like this, which you have two information. The first one is the GTK settings. We didn't set something, so we didn't work with, so basically it's not important now, just I want to show you how it looks like. Anyway, if you want to go back, you just need to click show all option again, and you go back where you were at the beginning. So now what do we know? We know that we created a window. That's true. You see it is right here. He knows. Watch, once that I click it, you saw that that our inspector showed us. Okay, now I'm going to go inside the GTK window, and now we have a lot of other information as well. But what we are interested here, it is, you see the way how it was created. So basically this is the class hierarchy and so on. We get a lot of information which we need to take care of and so on. But no, that's not important. What is important, it is because once that you check the object, so once that you check the details, now you can notice the way the program flow which you created yourself. For me, I know I created a window. Let me check it, which is true. So we were creating a window, and then later we created a grid, which is also true. We are creating a grid, you see, one step after another, and then we created a event box, which is true, right here, and later we were creating our header bar, which is of course right here. So basically, you see, the inspector knows everything we created. Okay, now watch. When we go inside the header bar, we already find some information. We see now that our header bar has two boxes, one which is horizontal. You saw how how it was blinking when I was clicking on it, and the second one is right here. You see, when you click on it, just watch here and here. You see, it's showing you where exactly you are. Now, when you click your GTK box vertical and you click on the label, you see it's blink right here. So now the second label, which is this one, and so on. So now this is the information which provides you, and which is more than enough. It's providing you information which you need. As you can saw here, we have the name, GTK header bar, and 1.0.0, which is the version. We decide to use like a version or something. And of course, if you move more down right here, you find the separator. Me, I'm not using right now, but you saw in my videos. And then we have three buttons. The button one, which has an image, and of course they are so just a multi press. We are not going to talk about them. Anyway, this is the information which shows you. This is the information which you find it once that you decide to call the inspector on your application. But if your application it is no, so let's say if inside your application you want to find something for yourself and you don't want to go in all the way those things right here because you are not interested in things like this, you already need to find something one special information, then you have this little button right here on the left top corner. You see it right here, says select an object. Once that you click on this object, watch what happens. You see, now we have a target pointer on our mouse, and now basically when I'm hovering over the application, you see it shows me a lot of information. You see, so now let's say I want to know what's the story with this button right here, or no, I want to see what's the story with the background of those three buttons. So me, I'm just going into one position where I can see it. You see right here, I'm going to click on it, and now we have a selector which says it is a widget, a backdrop, as you see here. So basically it is a grid, widget, header bar, and box. You see, this is the hierarchy. So basically I was just clicking on one box, and now because we know the main important of this situation, as anyway the name stays right here, GTK box. You see, now if you go on the left side where it says CSS selector, or clicking on it like me I'm doing right now, you have the option to see how much information you can take from here. So basically what we are interested in now, let's say we are interested on properties, for example. So I'm going to hit properties, and bam, here we have a lot of properties. So let me make it bigger. Okay, so let's see what kind of information do we have here. For example, false tooltip. Yes, this is good. Has tooltip. You see, it is set to false. Let us set it to true. So basically I'm only double clicking on this one right here or right here, wherever where you are double clicking, it's coming the hash top and clicking on false, it's changing to true. And if you go down to the tooltip right here, the text, you see it's null. Double click on it and give it a name. So I'm going to say close. I'm hitting enter, and now after you hit enter, you can click wherever to where you want to close the window. Now once that I'm pointing my mouse pointer to the close button, you will see the tooltip. Now you see here we have no tooltip because we didn't set it. We have no tooltip also because we didn't set it, but me, I choose the wrong one. Now I see, because it's just showing me all of them close. Okay, whatever, it should show me only the close tooltip. Why it show me all of those three? I think you already know this. This is very important for you to know, because me, I'm not changing the property of one of those three buttons. Me, I'm changing the property of the box. So basically it's not important where I'm going, it will print close, because me, I'm hovering over the box which holds these three buttons. So I made a mistake, but we'll learn something now from this mistake. So basically I'm going to change the close to this is the box or whatever. Okay, so now it is better and cleaner. This is the box, whatever. Okay, so but basically this is the properties, those things which we are setting with G object set or G object set property or whatever, which or with container to set some child's property and so on. And this is the properties. And then we have the child property as well. You remember our, let me go back to our header bar. Our header bar has child, you see right here, child properties. There are those two, pack type and position. We talk about them, we saw how we can set them, and we know what's the story with them. And as you can see, once that I choose the child properties, we have the pack position, which is the start and position 0. Me, I cannot change now because I have no widgets and I don't need widgets now, but you know what's the story with them. And then we have the class array here of course, and then we have the selectors and the CSS nodes. This is the important part. This is the part which you need to take care of. So basically you have a lot of information here which offers you. So let me see if I'm understanding right. Let us start. Let us make some changes. So basically what do we have? We have a window. Let me make some changes. So to make some changes to these windows, you have the chance to create some CSS information for your widget in real time. This means we have here those tabs. You see we have objects, statistics, resource, where is the information about how it's working those things under the hood. We have CSS, visual and general. So what do we know? CSS we know from our object that we have a window, isn't it? So basically if we say window and then we say 1 2 3 4 background color, let's say red, why not? You see it is changing to red because we decide to have a nice red background, isn't it? Okay, this is for our window. Next thing which we need, we see that we have a grid. Now if I'm changing the grid with another color, let me change now the grid with another color, for example blue. You see it's changing to blue. Why? Well, because we decide to set the grid to blue, and the grid took all the window space. So basically we cannot see red anymore. Okay, the next one, it is the header bar itself right here. So I'm going to change the header bar, the grid to the header bar. So now we have a blue color for our header bar. Let me put another color because I don't like it, or like orange. Yeah, it looks better. Okay, and now because we are here on header bar, we can see what kind of properties we can use on our header bar, which are right here. Let me move it a little bit more to the right just to have more room here to read and so on. So basically you see here are all the properties which you can all the CSS properties, yes, not the properties, CSS properties which you can apply on your header bar. Me, I'm not going to use some of them right now because I don't want to, but if you feel that you need to set something, you see, for example, box shadow right here is set to none, so basically this means you can set also box shadow. It's just, I know, I'm going to set it also to none. Anyway, this is the way how you set it. Why is that important? Why I'm creating these things right here? I'm going to show in a moment. Now, next thing, objects. We know that we have a box inside the header bar, which is the vertical box, and we have another one which is the horizontal one. So how do we know and how which one which is? Very simple. We are going to use this box right here. So this means how we do it, very easy. This means header bar, this is the main one, and then after that we say box. If, let me show you something, if you decide to change the box, just like I'm doing now, let's say back, let me copy because it's too much to write. I don't want to write now so much information. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have the header bar box set to orange. I'm going to set to aqua. You see, now here we set basically both are blue, but me, I'm not interested to set both to blue. I need to set one to a color and another one to another color. For this, as you can see here, says we have two boxes, which those classes name are vertical and horizontal right. Okay, so basically we have vertical and horizontal. So I'm going to say dot, because it is a style class, and vertical. Now watch, you see the other one has no color, has nothing, which means that we set the first one, the box which has the title inside of it. Now I just noticed something which you can fix it, of course, for yourself as well. And let me show you something. You see here this border, this white border right here. Let me see what happens if I remove the box shadow. It is nothing happens, but if I'm setting now the border, yes, let me set it to 0 pixel, and it's gone. You see, watch, you saw that white line right here. Let me show you, let me remove this part right here again. You see right here we have this one right here. Okay, so basically I just destroy it by setting border to 0 pixel, and it's gone. Okay, this is a thing which I just discovered for a couple days. Anyway, we saw how the GTK box vertical works. We saw, let us change not just the border, just the background color. We can also set some color as well, which means we are going to say now for the vertical, I don't know, let's say white. It looks ugly, isn't it? Yes, it looks ugly. Let me change it to something else. Red is fine. Yes, red is fine. Red is okay. So basically we change now the vertical box, which changed the color of those information. Now if I'm copy this part right here and I'm going to say horizontal, now we can basically change its color to something else. Let's say blue, or no, let me make something. Let me call this one blue and this one aqua. Yes, now I changed the colors only. So basically I'm going to set now to yellow. It's color. So basically now we have the GTK header bar title and subtitle set to yellow, and their backgrounds are set to blue. Now we decide for the other background right here to set it to the horizontal box to set to aqua, and a color, I don't know if it's important now to set or to have a color or something like this, but anyway, this is the way how you do it. Now of course you can choose the separator as well. Me, I'm not interested about that. Now as you can see, we set almost everything, but we need to take care about the right side right here. Those three buttons, we need to style them as well. So that being said, inside of the vertical we have the label, title and subtitle, as you can see right here, and of course we have the label box, label, title, subtitle, yes, and we have also the box horizontal right, which is this one right here, and we have some informations, which means minimize title button, maximize title button, and close title button. How that's working? Well, there are a lot of way. Me, I'm going to take the longer way. So header bar button and then dot, and how they said minimize title button, isn't it? Okay, so basically we are going to do the same thing. So minimize dot title button, yes. Now let us give it a color, for example background color. Let me copy this part right here. So I'm going to say now background color yellow, and of course the text should be white. As you can see, now we change not just the color of the button, but we changed also the background. We changed also the color. So now we see we have a background which is yellow, and of course we have a white color on the button as well. Now the setting you can do, I'm going to copy 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to say this one will be maximize button. So for maximize button, maybe I don't know, red, white, and of course we have the close button. Let me say green, and now you see we change those colors. Now basically we were setting the colors. One thing which I see now I don't like it is the way how it is aligned. So basically we need to set some properties like changing some alignment of those things. We are going to see in a moment, but at this point you can set a hover also. 1, 2, 3. So basically one is the close, the other one it is the maximize, and this one will be the minimize, and we are going to use the hover. Let me copy this part right here, 1, 2, 3, and we are going to say background color should be, I don't know, black. Okay. Now what we decide here? We decide to change the button minimize title button when we hover it to be black. Let's see if it's working. Yes, it works fine. It looks clean and nice. Now there is something else, as you already noticed here. If you go inside the button, you have an image as well. So basically this means you can set for the image also something, some information. Let me show you how. So I'm going to copy this part right here. No, not this one. minimize button right here. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to drop it here. And now we have header bar button dot minimize dot title button and then space image. And now at this point we are going to say that the image should be brown. Okay, now if you see, we got another color right here which is brown, and this color we are setting because we are deciding to change the image color. The other two, red and green, they are not changed because we didn't set it, so basically we are going to set all of them to another color as well. Maximize. You see now maximize has also brown right here, and the close button doesn't have it. So now I'm going to change the last one to close right here, and now we styled everything the way we like it and we know how it's working. Of course, now the way you decide to make some changes, the way you decide to watch, I'm going to remove some part here, hit the bar button and so on. You don't really need those things. You see, it works fine. We have no change, but I'm strongly suggesting to use them the way they were. So let me put it back. Hit the bar just to remove the confusion about what exactly are you styling. So basically, if someone is going to check your CSS file, it's going to notice that the information which you have it inside is not so complicated as probably it looks like if you just trying to style minimize title button something. But if someone watch, like someone check it and see it like header bar button minimize, then he will know, okay, this is the header bar, those are the buttons, and of course the minimize button is right here. So the guy which chose to make these changes here, he was talking about this one and he knows in a place. Okay, now if we are done with it, let us make the last check. This means now if we run our application, we have no CSS. Of course we don't have, so we are going to create for our application our CSS file. So let me print the manager. Now that we are here, I'm going to create a new file, new empty file, and I'm going to say yes, I want to add it to our project. The name of it will be style.css. I'm going to save it. Okay, and now I'm going back here and I'm going to copy all these CSS things which I create them, and I'm going to put them right here and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to compile it and run it, and bam, you see our program looks fine and has all that styling which we decide to apply it on it, working fine. Okay, I think it's enough for today. It's enough about the GTK inspector and so on. If you feel that you need some more information, or if you think that you have more information which you can apply for yourself, just leave a comment. Anyway, one last thing, let me close the application because it's already running, this one right here. You can also make some other changes as well, like a visual. Here you see GTK theme. Me, I have a min to I because this is what I'm using, but you can choose another to see how it looks like your application. If for example you want to change your default theme, so me, I'm going to choose now I don't know, a mini white darker, or no, not just white, let me choose something else, darker blue right here. See, you can make some changes and see how exactly behaves on your application. As you can see, because we decide to style it the way we want to, it doesn't have some change. Now I noticed something. You see right here in the corner, left and right, you see that red right here. This means our header bar has some radius. Let us fix this story for a sec. So header bar, let me I don't know, border 0%, and it's gone. You see, we have those red corners right here. We don't have them anymore. So basically I just noticed this. I fix it by applying the border radius to 0% or 0. I think 0 should be enough. Yes, it works fine. So this means I can also port it to my application right here, and I'm going to say not just border radius as well. Let me compile it and run and see if here is also okay. It looks fine, it's clean. We don't have it. Let me remove it for a second. I'm going to compile it and run it again, and yes, they are right here. That's a red dot right here, and here we have another red dot right there, which we don't want to have them. So basically this means we set the border radius to 0 and it's gone. If you set it to 50%, just that you know what I'm talking about, you will see now. You see that this is your header bar, and basically this is your grid, or this is your window. Basically this is the grid now, because we have a grid which takes the whole window information. Let me put it back to 0. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.